I'm Ryan Bass. The magic number, Carolina, is 6. 270 to win. The former Vice President Joe Biden knocking on the doorstep of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
You know Florida loves its theme parks, don't you? Well, now Tampa's Riverwalk, it's turned to essentially football's Disney World.
Right now in Sumter County, we are 1 percentage point off of where Donald Trump was 4 years ago. That's not going to be enough if these numbers hold to give Joe Biden that edge that he was hoping for among seniors in that area. In 1 year's time, this virus has killed one American every 1 minute of every day. And these aren't just numbers. These are people, moms, dads, grandparents, friends, coworkers, people like Miss Rosemary Collins, who's one of those that have been taken from us because of this awful disease. So you've been listening now to officials down there in Nashville, Tennessee, updating us on that bomb that happened this morning. Just a quick recap. 41 buildings damaged, the mayor confirmed after that bomb went off. It was an intentional act again, not an accident. Those 3 people that are in the hospital are still there, but they are doing okay and they're stable. Duval County, that's blue for the first time in 40 years. But what made the difference and the reason why Donald Trump is on the cusp of winning is because of Miami-Dade. You and I are both from here. We know the demographics are different. But the Latino vote, 17% of our Florida electorate, looks like it could make the difference.
And in particular, we spoke with
Carolina. I think all of us can certainly agree. We got some nerves about the game coming up this Sunday. Bucks and Chiefs, you don't have to knock off the defending champs. One thing we can be confident in, though, the weekend's going to bring it for the halftime show.
Yeah, oh, no doubt about it.
But you know what? We don't need this thing, right?
No, we don't need that.
We're not going to win anyway. We might as well just toss that thing out of there.
Perfect.
Let's go Bucks, baby.
There are under 200,000 ballots left to count in this critical state. Biden wins it, he takes the presidency. And Jeff hit the nail on the head because Hillary Clinton back in 2016 doubled up Donald Trump down in Miami-Dade County from a voting perspective. She actually had more raw votes down there than Barack Obama did back in 2012. Unrest in America, protests across our nation as racial tensions tighten and backlash over police brutality boils over.
I got to step up my swag game, man, on Sunday. I did not come dressed appropriately with you, man.
You look clean to me.
All right.
You look
not
GQ
as clean
smooth.
as you.
Pocket square and everything.
I like that.
68-year-old head coach didn't get his first shot to be a head coach until he was 60. Got passed over for a number of jobs. But he leads this team to a championship, Simeon. So I went out in our lobby.
But this is appropriate.
It is appropriate. So it's a close-up because it's game day. Charge on, baby. UCF beating Marshall right now in the Gasparilla Bowl next to our Christmas tree out in our lobby.
It's festive and it's appropriate. This is great.
I'm trying to do my best Alison Krauss impression here, so I think I did a pretty good job.
All of these sports are either fully or partially on hold because this racial inequality, systemic injustice, black men like Jacob Blake being shot by police, this feels like the civil war of our lifetime. Athletes, they want us to listen. So let's spend the next 2 minutes doing just that. Seniors 65 and up make up nearly 30% of our registered voters. A lot of them, of course, living here in the Tampa Bay area. But the Hispanic vote is key. Pew Research found they are a record 17% of this year's voter pool, bringing his total salary for the year to just shy of $28 million, which would put him right under Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins as the highest paid professionals in town here. Right?
You're almost there, Tom. Hang in there, buddy.
Tiger Woods, who had to be cut out of his car this morning and taken in for surgery at Harvard UCLA Medical Center after his SUV flipped near the LA area. It wasn't too long ago that Governor Ron DeSantis actually blasted the idea of these large vaccination sites, saying they were a big mistake and Florida didn't need them. Now people along Florida's East Coast are boarding up and getting out, hoping to escape the worst of the hurricane. This is Nightside. I'm Ryan Bass with Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. A stationary storm, much of Grand Bahama being reduced, as we saw there, to rubble. I mean, this is bone-chilling.
Unprecedented. We've never seen a system stall like this.
Sarasota County, as we just talked about, Manatee County. We didn't expect these two to go blue, okay? They haven't gone blue since 1944. But these are 2 Republican strongholds that we were wondering, given the seniors, given what's happened this year in 2020, would they sway away from Donald Trump? Doesn't look like that's going to be the case here, Carolina. Really interesting when you look at Florida.
when you break it down.
When you break it down county by county, how interesting things are shaking out right now.
Yeah, and we...
At times it feels like we're living in 2 very different worlds. Many of us can bury ourselves in our own silos, depending on the cable news you watch or the social media feeds you follow. Disinformation, online conspiracy theories, and straight-up lies that have been disproven countless times fueled much of the anger that we saw 2 days ago. Social media giants even suspending the president's accounts this week because of it. Tonight, our Vote Squad's Courtney Robinson looks 538 gives the president less than a 2% shot of winning without us. And no Republican has won the general election without Florida in 96 years. And what's interesting about Wisconsin specifically is this. If the president wants a recount there, he'd have to pick up the tab. Today, the U.S. reporting a record number of daily new cases. As Carolina said, 80,000, beating our July summer surge. And it wasn't a speech, Carolina, that was rooted in attacking our current president. Instead, the former vice president and now official Democratic nominee for president used his big moment to focus on why America's best days lie ahead with him in the Oval Office. Biden met the moment, delivering one of the strongest speeches of his political career.
Hey, even Commissioner Goodell today admitting that Tom Brady is probably the greatest quarterback of all time. No, probably, Commish, especially if he wins on Sunday. We are live along the Riverwalk downtown. This is 10 Tampa Bay. I am Ryan Bass.
Well, the bubble concept soon bubbled to the surface. City hubs with protocols where teams could play games. The Lightning spent 65 days in the Canadian bubbles from start to finish before winning the Cup. But it wasn't just players, coaches and personnel too, including team physician Dr. Tim Baines. But what about prominent athletes like LeBron James or Patrick Mahomes, for example? That could sway people, especially in the black community, to get the shot. For a sharper insight, we asked Dr. Tang if these vaccine influencers are a good idea.
And you could see this defense gaining confidence each and every week. They lead the NFL in postseason takeaways with 7. They lead the NFL in sacks this postseason with 5. And I think that's going to be the key in this game against Patrick Mahomes. Good luck, because he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league against pressure. I think his QBR is the best in the NFL when he's got a guy in his face. But Todd Bowles has made the adjustments necessary to put this defense in a position with 2 weeks here to game plan to try and slow down Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and that offense. I've been impressed with what Bowles has been able to do, and it's going to be that defensive line, Shaq Barrett, JPB, that are going to be the keys for this defense to be able to stop Patrick Mahomes and give Tom Brady his 7th Super Bowl ring.
I want to welcome in Scott Light, who's joining us from Columbus, Ohio. Scott, you've seen what's happened in Florida tonight. You and I have had a lot of conversations off the air about what could happen tonight. Are you surprised, especially down there in South Florida?
I'm not.
Hurricane Dorian batters the Bahamas. Tonight, the East Coast gets ready for a devastating storm. Packing 225-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and the storm is inching towards Florida's East Coast. We're spending the next hour making sure you're ready for anything that Dorian might throw our way. Some of the worst video we've seen is coming out of the Abaco Islands in the Bahamas. This is 10 News This Weekend. We were with you for a full hour tonight until midnight. I am Ryan Bass.
And I'm Carolina Lead with Chief Meteorologist Bob.
In Arizona, the president is actually gaining on Biden's lead, the opposite of what is happening everywhere else that we're watching. Biden up just 46,000 with 300,000 ballots left to count. The majority of them is coming here out of Maricopa County, which hasn't been blue since 1948. But right now, Joe Biden has the lead and edge right there. And lastly, Georgia. How tight is this race? 1,775 votes. That's the difference. Trump leads. 14,000 ballots left to count, and just under 9,000 military ballots have until tomorrow to arrive. This is the one to watch tonight, guys. A new report is expected by midnight coming here out of Clayton County. That could put Biden out front. We're watching it.